How's everyone doing? Today I have a Blu-ray collection update with 6 pickups, and if you've seen any of these, definitely let me know what you think of them, and let me know which one of these is your favorite. Leave me those comments down below. I've got a couple 4K Ultra HD titles, and I've got one DVD in here. But let's go ahead and check them out. First up is a 4K Ultra HD Steelbook, and it is the 25th anniversary edition of Event Horizon, which I did an unboxing of this already. The artwork is actually growing on me with the zombie hands, but I'm loving that Paramount released this. The fact that they're listening to fans, like Lionsgate has been doing a lot of these like Steelbook releases where it has the slipcover and you take the slipcover off and it reveals different artwork underneath. And I absolutely love that. And it's great to see other, especially major studios, doing the same now. And I know they recently announced The Ring, that they're going to do another Steelbook for it where it's kind of similar, but it's going to be Blu-ray. And I know a lot of people were upset that it's not 4K, but it's not a great looking film to begin with. But it is surprising that they didn't go that route. So I don't know if we're going to see a 4K release for that in the future. We're seeing a ton of 4K releases and a lot of ones with terrible artwork, and it's just kind of surprising to see this kind of trend that we're getting. And Scream Factory too, I feel like we've been conditioned from to get for their Blu-ray releases newly commissioned artwork, reversible artwork, and that's not the case anymore for their 4K releases. So, and then Kino not doing HDR, or some of the Atmos tracks aren't there, and I feel like you want the best for picture and audio quality. And then a lot of quality control issues and disc replacement programs, even Criterion with Hard Day's Night, Scream Factory a ton, Arrow Video a few too. So definitely disappointing trend for 4K releases. So it's great to see certain companies doing well, especially like Lionsgate. They're crushing it, but it's great to see Paramount doing these too. But Paramount, they're doing a lot of re-releases. Addams Family last year had a 4K release. Now it's going to get a 4K Steelbook release. And it's funny because there's another movie in here that's a 25th anniversary edition that had a Blu-ray release last year that now has a Steelbook release from them. But I think they're doing an amazing job on their 4K releases that they are doing. And then also their catalog titles, like What Women Want, which I think is such a fun comedy movie. Coneheads is a classic to me. What's Eating Gilbert Grape, another real classic, which I've been shocked that it hasn't been out on Blu-ray before now. They're getting, the Blu-ray treatment finally from Paramount. And I really like to see This Boy's Life get a Blu-ray release with Leonardo DiCaprio, who again was in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, but also with Robert De Niro in there too. Love the heck out of that one. I feel like it's a bit underrated in his filmography, but they're really doing an amazing job. I do think that Harlem Nights should have been on the Paramount Presents line. I got the Blu-ray, it's over here somewhere, piles. But I feel like that was a missed opportunity. I love the Paramount Presents line, and I'm thankful that they're releasing now in 4K. I know some people are upset that some of the Paramount Presents line, which hasn't been around for that long, is now getting 4K releases. But I feel like it's just a business model, the business side of it. They're testing the waters maybe and seeing how certain releases do, and now they're going to do 4K releases. But end mini rant there. There's some poor trends with 4K releases, but there's some companies doing a great job. And I do think Paramount overall is doing a great job. Lionsgate too. And then, bunch of special features on here. This is directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Let me know what your favorite Paul W.S. Anderson movie is. For me, absolutely Event Horizon. He did the Resident Evil movies. Worked a bunch with Mila Jovovich, Monster Hunter. Was it Three Musketeers too? But he did the first Mortal Kombat movie. He did Alien vs. Predator, which I think was a lot of fun. The sequels for both of those, not so much though. AVP Requiem was terrible, dumpster fire. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, dumpster fire. But I did like the recent Mortal Kombat live action movie. And then the animated movies are really good. Scorpion's Revenge, especially, check that one out. Animated Mortal Kombat movie. But this is just a classic sci-fi horror movie. I talked about this already. I did an unboxing for it, but I love this movie so friggin' much. And I know the Scream Factory did the Blu-ray release for it, but I didn't pick that Blu-ray release up because I had a previous Blu-ray release, the standard one, but I heard that the transfer wasn't that much of an improvement for the Scream Factory release over the previous release. So happy to get a 4K release for it for sure. And then I think a lot of older films too can benefit from the 4K treatment. So I'm definitely happy about that. I feel like more older titles should get it. And there's a lot of opportunity out there. One that I think is really surprising that isn't out on 4K is Minority Report. I feel like that would be a great film for 4K. But next up is, I get on all these side tangents, so forgive me for that. The collector's edition for The Bad Guys. and this is a DreamWorks film. Some of the voice actors in here, Aquafina. I remember I was watching this, and on the back though, it's so weird because it doesn't mention any of the voice actors' names, and that's the big draw here. So really surprising. But I remember I was watching it. Who is that voice? Who is that voice? Trying to figure out. Craig Robinson, Sam Rockwell, Aquafina, very recognizable. There's a bunch of other people in here. Mark Marone too. So really good voice acting cast here. And this one was actually a lot of fun, much better than I was expecting it to be. You have this, cast of characters that are usually villainous. The big bad wolf, the shark, the snake, piranha. There's a spider in here too. And just, them trying to rehabilitate themselves and, different cons that they're doing. And it's a fun ride, way better than I was expecting. And one that I could see myself watching again. So if you were on the fence like I was initially, this one's worth checking out. It's a good time. It's a family, fun, friendly movie. And again, the voice acting was awesome. I like the animation style too. So I thought it was, some good action sequences in here. It was just a fun movie and some good special features in here. This is a release from Universal. So definitely surprised me on that one. Next up, the 25th anniversary edition for Good Burger. It's mind-blowing to me that these movies came out 25 years ago. Holy moly. I remember exactly where I was when I watched Event Horizon for the first time. That movie freaked me out. Just creepy visuals in here. I love this one. Just so incredible. Does anybody remember the TV show Dead at 21? Because there's the guy in here is Jack Noseworthy, who's the actor. He's been in a bunch of different things. I think he's a really good actor. But he was in an MTV TV show called Dead at 21, which I would love to see that get a physical media release. Because I don't think it's available anywhere, like not streaming, not physical media. But I remember really liking that one as a kid. And I feel like I've never heard anybody. I remember talking about this so many times, and people look at me like I'm crazy, like it was Mandela effect. But it's real. I promise you, it's not the Sinbad Kazam or whatever. But Good Burger, welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? That whole Keenan and Kel right here. And the director of Good Burger, Brian Robbins, worked with Keenan and Kel before on the TV shows All That and Keenan and Kel. So a lot of chemistry there between the cast and the director. But Brian Robbins also directed a few movies. Ready to Rumble, which totally needs a Blu-ray release. A really fun wrestling comedy movie. On The Perfect Score, which is one that I think was underrated. I love the cast in that one. I mean, if his movie Norbit can get a Blu-ray release, I think several Blu-ray releases, then those movies definitely need a Blu-ray release. Meet Dave was a lot of fun too, but Norbit, he worked again with Eddie Murphy. I'm not a fan of that one. And it's crazy to me that has a Blu-ray release and Ready to Rumble doesn't. Perfect Score doesn't. And he also directed Varsity Blues, which is a classic. And Brian Robbins also directed Hardball, which is a really good, kids baseball movie with Keanu Reeves and a really good supporting cast, including a young Michael B. Jordan. It was one of his earlier roles. I think it was like his second film role. So, he's come a long way, very talented actor. But yeah, Hardball was a really good one. Great emotional movie. There's some depth there. There's on both sides too. I feel like the characters really learned a lot from each other in that one. And that's one I think is actually underrated. I'm not the biggest Keanu Reeves fan, but that's one I really enjoy from him. So I guess let me know what your favorite Brian Robbins movie is, because he's done some good stuff, especially during that time period, mid and late 90s. And that was another release from Paramount, another great catalog title release. So Paramount, please keep it going with those catalog releases. The Mexican recently came out too, with Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts. James Gandolfini was so good in that one. So I'm loving what they're doing, especially for their catalog releases. Awesome. So many great movies that are getting Blu-ray retreatment, and some of them long overdue, but I'm just happy to see it happen. Harlem Nights, I felt like it was so long overdue, but a bunch of other great titles coming from them, and I'm definitely excited to see what they release in the future. Let me know what you'd like to see Paramount release in the future on their Paramount Presents line, or just for catalog titles in general. There's a bunch to choose from out there. Definitely a fun time in here, and again, I like the cast in this one. Entertaining nostalgia for me during that time period. Look at that cover. I love all the artwork choices for this too. The interior, the front, the back. Really nice steelbook for this one. But this one did have a Blu-ray release last year. But I definitely dig this artwork and style. And I didn't pick up the Blu-ray for it initially, so I'm happy to get this one because I definitely dig it. I'll just do an impromptu unboxing. Comes with a digital copy. And then you get interior artwork. There it is. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? And, you know, Abe Vigoda in here is so great, but such a fun one. Cheese-tastic. If you were a fan of the Kenan Kel show and all of that, you'll love this movie. And, you know, to me, it's one of those, like, nostalgic movies, popping it in. Nickelodeon, you know, mid to late 90s. So just, it's a ridiculous movie for sure. With, you know, the Good Burger and the burger place opening up. It's trying to push them out of business and all their, you know, ulterior motives and stuff. But a fun time. You know, the interaction between the characters, great to see them on there, and they worked so well. These were just fun characters that you grew up with, and if you grew up in the 90s, especially Nickelodeon. So a really nice release, and even the top of the J card, I like that. I keep the J cards. I usually fold them and put them inside my Steelbooks. So I like when I see like little things like that. I know some people throw them away. I know some people throw slipcovers away. To each their own, but I keep that. Do you keep your J card? That's what this is called, a wraparound J card. I've seen people sell the slipcovers before, and recently I've seen people selling the J cards, which I guess if you're a completionist and you know, bought them secondhand, I can understand it, but that's kind of surprising. Some of the price points for some of the J cards too, like I'm not going to pay $10 for that. I don't know, maybe I would. Depending on the title though. If it's like a movie that I really love that I didn't get it initially, maybe like The Thing, certain ones, but most of, like, it's some of the titles that I've seen for sale for the J cards are like really basic titles, but I digress. Here's a Paramount Presents line. And this again was released from Paramount too. So again, a few Paramount title releases in here. Event Horizon, Good Burgers. I love their Steelbooks that they're releasing. They're actually, you know, I may complain sometimes about the re-releases, but some of these ones are totally worth it. And then to see the 4K treatment for Event Horizon, definitely happy with that, especially since I waited on the Scream Factory release. So yeah, I want to see more releases like that from Paramount for sure. And then the Paramount Presents line, I absolutely love what they're doing. I've loved pretty much every movie that they've released except for the Haunting remake, which I felt like was so out of place. Like all these movies are, you know, really good movies. This one's cheesy, but it's cheesy fun for me. But the Haunting remake is just terrible. I'm not a fan. But I really like these releases, Paramount Presents line. I feel like it was, again, a missed opportunity not to have Harlem Nights on the Paramount Presents line, but I'm happy to see it get the Blu-ray treatment. But I like the designs a lot. The gatefold slipcover, you open it up, it shows the theatrical poster artwork. You get the year right there on the front. It's numbered on the spine. So if you get them all, you can line them up. A lot of companies are doing that now. And then there's, you know, interior artwork, a quote, and usually some good bonus features. This one I would have liked a little bit more on the bonus features, but generally they're pretty good. But this is just a kind of homage and kind of like a, you know, poking fun at parody of like the, you know, the beach party movies that were really popular in like the 60s and drive-in era, and with Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello. And I think they couldn't say his name in the movie, like Frankie, you know, so they call him the Big Kahuna throughout, and they also mess up the name too. It's kind of like a running gag. But I think there was some like a legal issue with that. But the Pee Wee Herman scene cracks me up so much. Just like out of nowhere. And Lori Loughlin here is the daughter. She is such a babe. I know she's the legal trouble for paying to get her kid into college, but I feel like that was to me such like an overblown thing. And I don't know whatever happened, if she got jail time or not, or, you know, I know there's a bunch of other people that were celebrities that were involved in that, but like since the beginning of college, rich people have been doing that, paying to get their kids in. I know it's illegal, but still, it's like people were losing their minds about it. I didn't think it was that big of a thing, but I digress. This is just a really ridiculous, fun movie. They're going on vacation. They go to visit the daughter, and they visit their old, you know, stomping grounds on the beach. And you see Connie in here, and there's a bunch of cameos from a ton of people: Dick Dale, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Bob Denver, Jerry Mathers, Barbara Billingsley, just, you know, Pee Wee Herman, a bunch of different people in here. And yeah, you can see, you know, if you're a fan of TV shows during that time, Gilligan's Island, Love Boats, you know, there's a lot of cameos here, and it's just it's a cheesy, fun, ridiculous time. Again, you know, if you're a fan of the beach party movies, you'll really enjoy this one. It is so ridiculous to me, but it's fun. It's the ska scene too. I love it. It was a good time for me. From 1987, I'll go ahead and show you the rest. Do an impromptu unboxing. There's a digital copy in here too. There is the disc artwork, and then I'll show you the interior artwork, and then there's a quote right here too. So again, a really nice release from Paramount Presents. I love what they're doing with this line, and I'm happy to see them releasing 4K releases. I know there's some people complaining about that, which I think is kind of absurd. You should be happy in this day of physical media, day and age. And then, 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray discs actually just had their highest sales for a quarter this past quarter, which is kind of mind-blowing given the fact, we're in the age of digital and streaming. But I know there's less sales overall for physical media, but more sales are, sales are up for 4K releases. And I think, again, because physical media fans, for the most part, want the best picture and audio quality, and 4K delivers that. It's still mind-blowing to me. There's so many people buying DVDs still. I don't understand that. This day and age, like, Blu-ray is such a huge step up. And then you have 4K. To each their own. You can't even see the price point, because I've seen releases where 4K titles were cheaper than the Blu-rays, and some of the the DVD prices are still expensive. So to me, I feel like if you release a DVD, it should be dirt cheap, and not the same as like a Blu-ray price. And then again, the 4K titles, some of them are cheaper than the Blu-rays. So not always the case, but the price point isn't that much of a differential for the 4K. So next up is Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2. And I know this was nominated for an Emmy, actually, for one of the episodes. I think for maybe like animation editing, something like that. But this is, I haven't seen all of them, but this is actually a fun time. I like the animation. It's a comedy take on Star Trek, the lower level, characters and stuff like that. There's some kind of guest voice appearances in here. Riker, Jonathan Frakes is in here, and a few other recognizable people too. But I thought it was a fun time. I'm looking forward to sitting this down and watching it in its entirety. And again, I like the animation style. I love Star Trek. Let me know what your favorite iteration series of Star Trek is. I grew up with the Next Generation. Now there's been so many different releases and different series coming out in the past few years. I tried to watch Picard. I watched like 3 episodes. I just really wasn't into it. I want to give it another chance. Does it get better? Let me know. But this one's a fun time. If you like, kind of, I don't want to say necessarily like Seth MacFarlane-esque, but more like it's Rick and Morty's Solar Opposites. There you go. It's created by Mike McMahon. So there you go. If you like Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites, it's kind of that style. I was going to say, Seth MacFarlane, but that's more the accurate here because it is from, the creator of Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites, which I think both of those are awesome too. I feel like Solar Opposites is underrated. That's a fun one. And you can check that out on Hulu. But Lower Decks Season 2 on Blu-ray, and a nice release for it. I'll go ahead and show you. You get over an hour of special features in here. So I appreciate when they have good special features like that. And there you go. You get the 2 discs, and then here you get like the episode guide and some scenes too. So I like that a lot, especially for TV shows and seasons. It's a nice, easy thing to do for the, show some interior artwork and episode guides and things like that. So a really nice release, again, from Paramount and CBS. Then last and least, in my opinion, a DVD release for Ancient Aliens Season 15. They're still making this show? It's mind-blowing to me. There's a couple of ones that are kind of like interesting, but some of them are just so far-reaching, it's ridiculous. The Israelites, how did they cross the desert? There's no way they could have done it. It must have been aliens. Like, it's just so far of a stretch for a lot of these different things. But there are some interesting ones. It makes you think. And they also talk about history, which I definitely appreciate. So even if, you're not buying into the whole thing with the aliens, you can learn some history facts. So I think that's interesting to me. There's 10 episodes on this, 2 discs. The History Channel and Lionsgate and A&E right there. So there you go. Season 15. I can't believe they're still making this. It's like all those ghost adventure, the ghost hunting, like all those shows end exactly the same. Well, there's definitely something there. We didn't catch anything. We didn't have any proof. We'll get them next time. They drive off in their van. How can you keep watching that same premise, the same result for, 10 years? Like, some of those shows have been on for a decade. It's mind-blowing to me. I don't know, all those paranormal investigation shows, they're all the same. There's nothing, it never ends with, we caught a ghost, we did it, there's proof. That never happens. It's all the same. It always ends that way, and I don't know, how can you keep, watching the same results? I don't get it. I don't get how those shows are still on. I don't know. I'm not a believer in a lot of that stuff anyways. I'd like to be, but that's a whole other topic and discussion with ghosts. And let me know if you believe in ghosts. Let me know if you believe in aliens. I think there could be alien life form, but maybe not how they're depicted here. I did see a UFO once. I actually want to do a video talking about that. I was a teenager, and I lived in an area in the Hudson Valley area in New York where apparently it was like a hotbed for that kind of activity and sightings. And I don't necessarily believe it could have been military, because there's military bases over there too. I used to live on a military base near there. But yeah, as far as ghosts and stuff like that, I feel like there could be like other dimensions. There could be, magnetic fields and stuff like that. Those things I believe in more so than like ghosts and paranormal activity and stuff. There could be more of an explanation than, that surface level stuff. And plus I believe in, things that I could, see, and that, proven facts essentially. So as far as ghosts and stuff like that, I don't believe in it. But who knows? I like to be wrong on all that stuff. I like to be, I love alien abduction movies. That's like freaks me out the most. Fire in the Sky, Communion, Fourth Kind. Communion devolves in the second half though. It's creepy and then it gets goofy. Fire in the Sky is iconic. People talk about that one scene, but to me it's more than the one scene. That movie overall is fantastic. Fourth Kind is super creepy too. Love to see it get some. There's Extraterrestrial was a good one. Dark Skies, but I love to see more alien abduction movies that are actually good. There's not many that are good. Those are pretty much it. There's some other ones. Extra is absurd. But there you go. Ancient Aliens. Let me know if you're a fan. Let me know if you believe in aliens. Let me know if you believe in ghosts. I used to say different theories for like UFOs and stuff. It could be us from the future. Or it could be, or that's what aliens could be, where the people see that. It could be people from the future or other dimensions, or there's other possibilities. But who knows? Maybe we'll find out one day. There's all kinds of, different supposed sightings and stuff. And it could be military testing. It could be a bunch of different things. But maybe there really are aliens. Maybe they help with technology with a lot of these jumps. I can understand some of that. But again, some of this stuff, it's so far-reaching to me. But some of it's intriguing. Some of it's ridiculous. So it's 50-50 for me. But that show's still going. Let me know a show that you are surprised it's still on. Let me know what your favorite TV show is on currently. And let me know what your favorite sci-fi horror movie is. Let me know a movie that you watched recently that surprised you. You didn't think it was going to be good, but it turned out to be better than you thought. Let me know, again, your favorite Star Trek series. Let me know a favorite movie from the 60s, if you will. Let me know your favorite nostalgic movie. This isn't mine or anything, but it definitely has a lot of nostalgia for me. Your favorite movie as a kid, too. I feel like a lot of movies that I loved as a kid, I watch them now as an adult, and they just don't hold up for me. So Drop Dead Fred is one. Walk Like a Man is another one. Those movies now Drop Dead Fred is just like horrendous to me. Street Fighter was another one too. Horrendous, but I liked them as a kid. But there you go. Those are the 6 pickups. If you've seen any of them, definitely let me know what you think of them. Let me know which one of these is your favorite. Let me know all the different things that I talked about. I like the interaction on here. I like hearing your feedback. Even if it's different than my own for opinion-wise, I still want to hear it. We can disagree civilly, and sometimes we can maybe get different viewpoints that we didn't think about initially. But yeah, leave me all those comments down below, and I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.